Young man wins the lottery. He only tells a few people, one of which is his son's mother. He has her sign an NDA, a non-disclosure
Oh,
agreement, so she
yeah.
will not tell people because hey, he won 1.3 billion. He took home 700 million. That's not the type
No,
of
he
money
didn't.
you want people to know about for obvious reasons. You don't want your family calling you, asking you for things they really don't need. Because as we learned last week, Heero thinks you're supposed to just give money away when it's family. So
Okay, first and foremost, don't cross the
We
timelines.
family.
Okay,
Can I get some money?
this don't cross the timelines, please. All
You my
right.
brother. I could be a half brother. I'm adopted. I don't know my actual
so
family. I can use $1,000.
so he is now suing his child's mother for $100,000 for each person she told.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Shake,
Put
take
her
it
in the
away.
dirt. She signed the NDA. Once you said she signed the NDA, you mess up. Sorry, lady. I will put you in the dirt. Right? Because here's the thing. When you win the lottery, there's a reason why 80% of people go broke, right? Because one, people start hitting you up. In order to not have your name published, you have to take another 25% hit off of that to not have your name published for a year, right? So he only won if he took the lump sum, 300 million of that 1.35 billion, right? Because they take 50% and then they tax 50%, and then that's so he
Yeah,
gets about half,
he won 1.3 billion. He walked away with 700 million.
and then they tax that. So he walked away
Oh,
with 300 million.
I thought they
No, if you take the lump sum, you take the lump
oh,
sum, they take 50% off rip. Lump sum is 50% off rip. You take the annuity. Trust me, if someone plays the lottery, I've
oh.
done my calculations of what I've done and what I would do. So she signed the NDA. She signed the NDA. She was wrong, right? And this is so she knows, like, you can't do this, right? Because now people, it's not just people who are going to look at him for money, right? People who are going to use to try and scam him. Like, his life has now completely changed because he just came into this type of money, right? Before he's been able to properly put some of this away. Because unlike other people who have this type of money, his money is actually liquid. Most people who are valued at hundreds of millions are not liquid, right? So he can actually just be like robbed, kidnapped, and it be a problem as opposed to like you rob Elon Musk, he's not actually all that liquid. It's going to take a while to get physical cash out for you. This guy has it in his bank account. Like, so I respect that. He's basically forcing her into bankruptcy for her mistake. He's suing her into bankruptcy.
The thing that you got to understand here is he did his first mistake was a mistake of love, and it's a mistake of love that I'll allow because he's only able to even have this conversation with her because he wants to be around his child, because he wants to be there to raise his child, and he wanted to be able to do that without the overbearing cloud of his situation altering his life too much. We know that this type of money is life-changing money. The thing that we have to understand as a group of people is some people just can't handle being that close to you. Like, could you imagine all the things he did to set her up for the rest of her life, her kid up for the rest of life, and all of that has to be uprooted because you told 7 people reportedly at the time of this article being written, and then and now the hundreds of people that have to know his kid has to move, they have to move, the understanding of their livelihood has to move. This is not only an appropriate punishment, this is a lesson. You are not a normal person anymore. And when you decide to step into the world of fame and fortune, you will be held accountable to that standard. I hope that, like, because she's not going to go broke, but she now understands that you are different. Like, you are different. You are another person. When you can callously throw $100,000 at people on the street, and it would take you longer to fight them for that money than it would be for you to walk away. It's a different story. It's a different story. And this is the situation. When you're wealthy and rich, you got to learn that you don't have to be famous or celebrity to be attached to it. You can have one or the other. She wanted both. The greed is what killed her situation. And if she goes into bankruptcy, it's a good thing. She needs to experience this early and often, because when that real money starts to drop, she needs to be more equipped, because this has to last a generation. It has to last longer than just you.
And well, you're right, because therapy just hit something on the head. 2 things that you said. What he should have done, right? Because clearly that's his baby mama, right? he now has the money, right? He can sue for custody, right? And you're telling me if he can be like, hey, I now live in this neighborhood, I can provide. It's not like I would be working, right? Because I have X amount of money, especially in 2023. If you have that much more money than it, no judge, unless he would not give him custody if he's really about the money, right? Because he hasn't even moved his kid out of the same school yet. The kid probably would have done still the same school district. The kid is not in a school with other kids who of that same socioeconomic yet. He still is maneuvering of like, wait, he probably still going to work, right? Because he doesn't know what to do yet, right? He's still seeing his financial advisors to try and make sure he doesn't go immediately broke. And now he was trying to avoid people being told, and she just ruined it.
She ruined that. She ruined that.
Let me interrupt.
And again, she was his baby mom. So he has to, the government's going to say, oh, wait, now you have this amount of money. Your child support was going up. So she had to come up because she couldn't keep her mouth shut, right? She ruined her own come up. So she deserves every punishment that she gets.
But hold on for a second. Because when I first read the article, I'm like, makes sense. But I didn't think about the fact that by the mother doing that, she put the child in danger.
In danger. Like, no, like, and I have to get this through to you. Like, you got to understand, we got people who will rob broke people. Like, they'll kick in your Gram's door to steal whatever gold china you got in the kitchen drawers. Or because she got some motherly clock in her basement that you know is going to go for some. Like, we don't even have people running into electronic stores trying to steal PlayStation 5s or TVs anymore. We got people who will rob broke people just because they know that it's easier to get to these people. They know that if the iPhone they stole from whatever store, if they can't get it deactivated in time, they're going to. So, like, there's so many things you could bewilder on this. My problem is that she thought for some strange reason that this wasn't going to get back to the man. Like, she thought that the people she was entrusting this to weren't going to sell out, and she's just proven the point. You tried to keep something under wraps, and within a few hours, it got back to the main source. So that just lets you know that the people you think you trust, you can't, because money's involved. You can't trust anybody now. And the one thing you had to do was shut the fuck up, and you failed at it miserably.
She ruined her come up, right? That kid would have been moved to a better school. He probably would have bought her a house in a better neighborhood, right? She would have driven a better car because he would have been paying that for his kid, right? So guess what? She, by transitive property, would have had to come up. So of course now she deserves to be bankrupt, right? If I was him, I would go out of my way to put her in the dirt, right? Because I'm like, you are that dumb, right? That you ruined your own come up. That's what you did, right? Like, you think I'm not going to keep you.
You did it for bragging rights. That's what you did it for. You didn't do it because you thought you could trust. You wanted people. Once again, you wanted
your poor friends to know you're rich.
Yeah, you wanted a group of people to know that you're better than them now, and you're better than them because not anything. You just happened to be the person he couldn't pull out on. That's the only reason why you're in this predicament right now.
Because you didn't buy the ticket, you didn't scratch it off, right? And if he didn't have a kid with you, he wouldn't have to be putting you in this better life. He wouldn't. Nope. He wouldn't know you.
He did the thing that we preach: take care of home, and you didn't take care of home. That's wild. That is
because
actually
you wanted
wild.
Clout against her friends who don't have nothing. Guess what? I'm gonna make sure you have less than them. You thought you had something and you couldn't keep it quiet, so I will go out of my way to make sure those friends that you had to tell that you was rich now, we all made it, I hope they can pull you out of nothing because I will ruin you. I have the money and the time, right? You tried to ruin my life and my kid's life. I got time and money. I have time and money.
Yeah, and I see you used your time to run a little filibuster. You talked until those points were even.
I didn't even see the point. I didn't see that. I didn't even see it. So